I had, some of my performances were men wearing skirts. So it was, I just became someone that all people sort of recognized was, there was a spirit in common. And so they invited me to be a judge. I had no idea what it was. I mean, absolutely no idea, whether it was handbags or glasses or things. And then all of a sudden there was like the real dancing competition. And you had this unbelievably raw, volatile, extraordinary, spontaneous, guerrilla warfare sort of feeling, mixed with this impeccable, refined sense of design. One of these resulted in us working together. Not for us, we weren't really trying to vogue, because it's a very particular, extraordinary skill that takes a lot of practice. But we were more like doing contrapuntal juxtapositions of different kinds of dance simultaneously sharing the space.
For me, I was trying to vogue. I was having a lot harder. I had a hard time trying to get the ballet into it because I was so street with vogue. I guess was Willie Ninja. He was the one person I saw on the dance floor whose voguing wasn't about sexuality. It was more about shapes. It was more about patterns. And that was the one that I gravitated towards. And I walked up to him, I got enough nerve to walk up to him and I said,
expresses through this rigor.
Right.
And this is exactly how the classical arts work. And so for me, in my twisted way of thinking about it, I was seeing voguing as this kind of classical art form that was, the expression came through the structure. And it's true, many of the voguers I wasn't interested in at all because it was too much self-expression.
Correct.
And it didn't have the ideas of line, rhythm, and the other things that just give it, pure geometry. Well, the pure geometry, I almost say like the things that are tied to
I need you to understand that you are truly, and for everybody else, Karole is the foundation. Besides Willie, you are the foundation to who I am today, whether you know it or not. I've never got the chance to tell you this. I started out as a chef.
And he was a chef when I met him.
And was cooking for 13 years, and I was afraid to break free and to step out into the whole Vogue world or to see where Vogue could take me. I met Willie, and Willie told me that the ballroom community is a beautiful place to be, but
that's what's interesting.
don't keep yourself there.
To know about many different things.
Yes.
And bring it together, and enrich what we do, because it's, simply it becomes more emotional, more philosophical. I mean, just the more you know, and then it addresses the culture in a broader way. I mean, that's what we're here to do as artists, is to try to talk about what it feels like to be alive today. And the more you know, the more you can bring in. We don't all want to be in any of these
because of, I guess, his stature. He was very uncomfortable with himself. So in a way, it fit. We would go into my house at night, or we would go out to a club, and we would stay there all night long. I remember some nights I would pay to get into a club and I would sit on a speaker for 8 hours and literally watch. This was before cameras were able to film. We didn't even have cameras at the time, or cell phones. Dementia. Shut up, Benny. My age. Really, that was the hardest part for me, was relearning to hear music and then to fit an emotion to a sound. And then now, how do I take my body and create those sounds or moves that are all connected in these geometric patterns and these lines, fit with an emotion and a fierceness that says, back up, because I'm here and I've entered the room.
My dance company to represent this broad spectrum, and there are many people in the company have come from foreign countries, and everyone, they're very tall, very short, there's every color of skin, and to bring in, as I say, this kind of other extraordinary flavor that you all brought with such a different history and such a different way of thinking. It just enriched what we could put on the stage. So there's a wonderful, valuable presentation, I thought, to a whole new audience, people who would never seen voguing on theater, but this had as much power and expressivity as any of these other kinds of dance. And of course, to me, it was like completely obvious. But he was so concerned that it wouldn't just stay as you said, in the clubs and be marginalized, that it needed to speak to a broader audience. And it goes on, it definitely goes on, and you know, it's wonderful that somebody like you you're even on TV, right?
Help him in his vision and make it mainstream. A lot of people had the vision that Vogue is a gay dance. It's not a gay dance. It was created in the gay community. It is a human dance. It is something that is for everybody. Everybody is allowed to feel that. Everybody is allowed to express that. I just think we express it better. I am teaching Vogue, thank God, to Russia. I am teaching it in Taiwan. I am teaching in Italy, Paris, London. Literally every corner of the world now is open to Vogue, and the most beautiful part of it is women are now a part of it. For Vogue, it did start in the underground drag queen scene, but true Vogue, if you didn't know, started in Rikers Island. You see? Now the boys are voguing like the femme queens used to years ago, and it's now femme style. So there are these connections and generations that have helped to build what it is, and it's absolutely beautiful to see where Vogue is going and how it began, and to see the communities and all the nationalities that are getting involved in it, and it has finally made its name for itself. Vogue. And by the time I leave here, I'm going to have everybody posing.